Data layer in the structure of clean architecture is the universe where we deal with outside world or any third-party libraries. This layer also contains 3 important directories that are data sources, models, and repository. And then the data source directory is split into 2 more directories that are local data source and remote data source. Inside the local data source, we can integrate any local database for storing data locally like Sandblast, Hive, Moore, etc. And then the remote data source is the place where we deal with our app real APIs or any kind of database like the one we are using, the Firebase and other database like MongoDB, AWS, etc. And then after this, we have the models in our data layer. The models will be the subclasses of their entity classes. The entity classes are implemented in the domain layer, and these model class will contain a bit more functionality like I said in the previous video, from JSON to JSON, from snapshot, etc. And then lastly, the repository directory in the data layer. There we are gonna have the repository implementation, like we are implementing the interface or the abstract class we have in the domain layer. As simple as that. And that repository contains the features of the app. That's the file of that. And one more thing I want to clarify is that if you look at in the domain layer, the repository, Firebase repository, here we have the methods same as we have here in the data layer remote data source, but the only difference is about the names. Here we have the Firebase remote data source, and here we have the Firebase repository. So the reason behind this is just to separation of concern, because this allows us to insert or add any feature anytime without being stressed that what I have to do, where I have to make any changes to add or insert a feature. Just create a feature in that repository and simply implement it in the Firebase repository implementation. Also create it in here and implement it in your Firebase remote data source implementation, and there you go. You have added a brand new feature in your app, and that's the beauty of the clean architecture, which helps us to build scalable and maintainable apps. So that was a quick recap of this data layer. So now let's back to the actual work. So in the previous video, we have created the post use cases here in the use cases, and also the post entity, and in the repository we have created some methods of feature or the use cases we can say, or the features. And then I simply give you a task just to create the post model, which will be going to same as we have the user model. So for those who have not created yet the models for the post, so that's okay, let's do it. And we also implement the Firebase repository, the post methods in here, and now the only thing we have to do is just to create a model for post and simply implement these methods we have in the remote data source implementation. These methods which only throws the unimplemented error. So that's it. Now in the models directory, create a new directory and name it posts. Inside this post directory, create a new Dart file and name it post model. And here we are gonna have the class, and its name will be post model, which will extends the post entity open body. And we are gonna have the same fields here, so we will copy these fields from here and simply paste it right here. And also to save our time, we will also copy the constructor from here and simply paste it here. Just change the name of it, and that's it. There you go. After this, also import the Cloud Firestore package just for this timestamp, and that's it. Also not forget to pass it in the super. Open this body. So the create it will be created, and creator UID will be creator UID. So that was it for this super constructor, and now in the post model we want two methods from snapshot and to JSON to convert the data from snapshot to .objects, just to read that data from the database, and just to convert it into simple JSON data to store the data in the Cloud Firestore database. And simple, we will not waste our time again following the dry principle. Do not repeat yourself. Simply go to the user model and copy the from snapshot method from here. That's the factory method. Hit Ctrl C and go to the post model and paste it right here. Only change the name to post model. Copy this name and paste it right here. And now remove all these fields, leave only one followers here because we have one list, that is likes. Copy this and paste it right here, and that's it for the list. Now remove all these fields, leaving only one, and copy this created, paste it right here. Now replicate it sometimes, let's say 1, 2, 3 and 4, and copy these names one by one and paste them right here. Create a UID and description, that's it. Profile URL, user profile URL, and total likes, and duplicate it 2 or 3 more times, and go to here. The total comments are remaining, and post image URL, and let's count it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 fields. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last field is this post ID. So that's it, we got the 10 fields here. So that was it for the from snapshot method. And now let's again go to the user model and also copy this to JSON method in R2, not repeat ourselves again and again. Paste it right here. UID, we will change this to first created and creator UID, and description, and user profile URL, and total likes, and total comments, and post image URL, and the post ID, also the username of the user, and likes. Remove this bio from here, also the followers and following from here. And that was it for our post model. We got the post model extending the post entity, and we got the from snapshot method to convert the data from snapshot to .objects just to read them, and this is for converting the data from .objects to simply raw string, just to store it in the Cloud Firestore database. And that's what these models do. So we got our model implemented, and we also have implemented the repository in the data layer, and now last remaining thing is just to go to the remote source and start implementing these methods. So first, let's take a quick review from the other methods just to clear yourself more about this Firestore methods, so you will become a bit more familiar. So this will not be new for you as we are doing it after some time. So the method where we are creating the user, first we have the user collection, and then simply we are getting the UID of the user, and in the document on that UID we get that document, and simply in the then method we got the user doc, the document snapshot of mapstring dynamic. We simply create a new variable where we are getting the data from the user entity. Close this, and we convert it to JSON because now we are going to store it in the cloud Firestore, so we have to convert it into JSON. And now we are checking the condition if this user doc was not exist. This means if it was not exist, simply set it in the cloud Firestore database, otherwise update it. So that's what we are going to do for our creating post as we are doing for the create user. So we will copy this create user method from here, and simply in the create post we will paste it right here. Only the Firebase const we will call the post, because now we are going to have the separate collection to store our post and its document inside this. And also not forget to make it asynchronous because that's future. And we got access to our post collection. And now what we are going to do, first of all, create a new variable and name it to new post, and this will equal to post model, and put semicolon here and access all the data here from the post entity, or we can say from user side. The user will enter that data, or this will come from the user. So the user profile URL will be post.userprofileURL, and username will be post.username, and the total likes will be for now 0, total comments will be 0, and post image URL will also come from the post.postImage URL, and the post ID will be generated randomly. We will use the UUID package for that. So we will simply pass the post.post ID for now, accessing from the user side, and there when we will start posting or creating our post or calling this method from there, we will simply use the UUID package and will generate the random ID for the post, and simply we will use it, and that's it. And the next field is likes, so the likes will be for now simple empty list, and description will be comes from post.description, and creator UID will be post.creator UID. And after that, the last field is created, and we will also pass this timestamp from now while we are calling this method in our UI. So for now we will do post.created. So that was the post model. Now simply call the method to JSON to convert it into JSON, simply raw data, to store it in the cloud Firestore database. Now simply call the try just to handle some errors with this, and catch E, which is the error, and simply print it for now. Some error occurred, and simply print that error. That's it. Now in the try block, what we are going to do, we will create a final field again. Its name will be post document reference will be equal to await post collection, and copy this post collection, paste it right here, because now that's the post collection. We are not accessing the user collection from here, and that's obvious. We are accessing the post collection, so we will name it post collection. I just copied it from the create user method, and just because I forgot to change its name, so that's okay, I change its name now. And post collection, so post collection will be dot document on the post dot post ID. We will get that document, and then put semicolon here. Now check the condition. If the post document ref dot exist, if it was not exist, so what we will do, post collection dot doc on that post ID coming from the UUID package, simply set the new post, and in the else condition simply post collection dot document on post dot post id dot update the post on the new post. As simple as that. What we are doing here, accessing to the post collection, the variable, final variable, we are getting data from the user side and simply trying getting that document on that post UID. If it was not exist, if it means there is no document, so simply create it. If it was exist, simply update it. So else condition will not be executed, just because we know that initially when we are creating the post it will not exist, so simply it will create that post. Just for handling this condition, else we simply call this update here, and that's it. And we got our create post method implemented. Now it's time to go for the delete post. So first of all, in the delete method we have to make it async because that's feature, and then simply access to the post collection. So we will copy it from the create method and simply paste it right here, and after that simply do try and catch e and simply copy this print method from here, paste it right here. And for try we will do post collection dot document on post dot post id. Just call the delete method and that's it. We don't have to write any kind of code for deleting because it's simply deleting the document from the post collection on that post id. So there is nothing complex in this method, and this method is successfully implemented only writing this single line of code: post document on post id, delete the document. So now it's time for the like post. So you have seen in many applications like Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. Inside this application there is the features of like when we hit the heart icon, it simply becomes red and we see we like the post. It generates any notification for that to send it to user that someone has liked your post, but we are not sending any notification in this application. We will cover this part in the separate videos. Now let's see how this like post feature will going to work. So first of all, in the like post method we have to access to the post collection and copy it from this delete and paste it right here, and also make it asynchronous. And after that simply we need the user ID of the current user. So the method we had in the create user, method, it's right here, the create user, we have this method. So we will copy it just to get the current UID of the user, and we'll simply paste it, where is that, here. And after that we will get that document of the post which we are going to like, and that will be the post reference await post collection on post id. Just get it. Now here we will check the condition. If the post ref dot exist, if it was exist, then simply there will be a variable inside this if condition, list likes equal to post ref dot get the fields likes. If the document of post was exist, so simply we are accessing to only this single field. And after that we will check the condition. If the likes dot contains the UID or the, we will name it current UID. If it contains the current user UID, so what we will do is post collection dot on document on post id, we will update that post, and this will be mapped like this on likes. Inside this document on likes, to update the list we have to do field value dot array remove the current UID, and that will be in the list. So what we are doing here, accessing to the post collection, getting the current UID of the user, and simply getting that post which we are going to like, and simply checking the condition if it was exist. Simply get the likes field of that which is list, and then check the condition if this list which we are going to like contains our UID. If so, then simply remove it, and in the else condition we will do post collection dot document on that post ID dot update, again the map, and the likes we will do field value dot array union, which means add something into the array or list, the current UID, and that's it. So we are checking if the list in the post we are liking, inside the list of likes, if it contains our UID, simply remove it, and we will display the heart icon, a simple gray icon that now we have not liked the post. And if we again click it, so the likes now do not contain our ID, so as it's removed on that array remove. Now in the else condition we are calling array union, so our UID will be added again to the list, and the heart icon will becomes red, that now we have liked the post. So anytime when we click, it will check for the condition. If it was exist, it will remove our ID from the list, and if it was not exist, it will simply add it. And that's it for this like post method. And one more thing here we can do is just to copy this method, not a method but this variable, and paste it right here. This will be final variable, and its name will be total likes, and also its name will be total likes. Now after this total likes, here we are gonna have total likes when the likes contain the ID, and we after removing it from the list, we will simply do -1 from the total likes of the post. And in the else condition, while adding any UID into the list of the post, we will do total likes +1. Now when someone's liked the post and his ID not exists, so the else condition will be true, and the like will be incremented by 1, and his ID will be added into the list of that post document. And if this condition was false, he has liked the post, it means the list contain his UID, so simply it will remove it and will decrement the total likes of the post by 1. And that's it for this like post method. And now next, let's go to the read post. So first we have to access to the post collection, and after this make it async, not async, it's stream. So we have to do is, now after accessing this post collection, we will do order by the field we have create at descending true, which means when we get our post, it will be in the descending order on the time. The post which is created first will be shown on first in the column, and after that in the stream method we will return the post collection dot snapshots, because that stream data dot map, and that map will be our query snapshot map string dynamic query snapshot, we will name it. And after that we will do query snapshot dot list of query snapshot map string dynamic, and we will map these lists and simply convert this list into the dart object. So then we will read these posts and display it on the UI. So we will do post model dot from snapshot, pass this e inside, and simply dot to list, and that's it for the read post. And now last method is just to update the post. Now copy this post collection from here and paste it right here and make it async because that's future. And next we want this field as we had in the update post. Let me show you in the update post that user information, just to access a single field in the document. So map string dynamic and map post info. From that map we will access to the single field and we will update it simply. Now what we will do inside this update post, we will check the condition if the post dot description was equal to empty string and post dot description is not equal to null, and this will also be not equal to null. If this was not equal to null, simply remove this body from here. This will be post info and description will be equal to post dot description. Simply from user side, if user has entered these fields and want to update it now, so if this was not equal to null, so we will simply update this description in the document of the post on specific UID on which the specific user want to update his or her post. So we will simply update that post. The user has entered some data, accessing the data from the post description, and simply duplicate this and change it to post image URL and also paste it on all these description fields. And that's what we will update in our post. And if there is need of some other fields to update, we will do the same for them. And lastly, in the update post method, we will do post collection dot on document on that post dot post id dot update the post info and put semicolon here, and also remove this order by from here, put semicolon here. So that's it for this update post. So we have implemented all the methods of the user, not user but the post. We created the post, access the collection, the data of the user, convert it to JSON, and get the document. If it was not exist, simply set it, and if it was exist, update it, and this condition will not be true anyways. Delete post, simply call the delete method on it, and like post, if the list contain the ID, simply remove it and decrement the likes, total likes of the post by 1. If it do not contain, if it contain, remove it. If it do not contain, simply add it and increment. And that's it for this like post. You will see this in action when we go to the UI part. And after that, read post, simply convert the data from snapshot to dart objects and simply read it. And for updating post, that was it. So that was it for the video, and now I have one more task for you. What you have to do is just to create the Cubit for the user, not the user but the post, as we had in the for the user. That forget this credential, use Cubit, simply the user and this user Cubit. What you have to do is just to create inside this a new Cubit, make it equatable, and its name will be post, and this must be inside a new directory. Like you have to create a post directory like this, and simply inside this create a Cubit, and this will give you stat post stat and Cubit post Cubit. So what you have to do is there will be post initial, post loading, post loaded, and this post loaded will going to accept the list of post entity instead of user entity, and this will be required and will be passed in here, and failure will be post failure, as simple as that. And in the user Cubit, the get post method will be remain the same, only the user entity and the use case will be different. And for updating the post, you simply have to call the await update post, and for the deleting post, you simply have to call await delete, and for like, call the await like, and for all the future methods, simply call this await, and that will be it. And if you done it, that will be good. And also, after completing this task, submit this in the comment section so that I will give you a comment heart, because this makes me happy if you do your work or task with this course. So that was it for the video. I hope this video was helpful. If so, show some love in the comment section, and also let me know if something is not clear to you, and do not forget to submit the task after completing. For now, goodbye, and I will see you in the next video.